Do you want to go to war, Malaki? I'm for real. AA Ron. Where is AA Ron right now?
AA Ron right here. Happy Tuesday, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today is not a good day to be David Miscavige. I'm speaking, of course, of Scientology's diminutive, tiny little leader, standing at only 3 foot 25 inches tall. Here you can see Miscavige being dropped off outside the LA County Courthouse. Oof, that's gotta sting. The U.S. Supreme Court has just struck down Miscavige's latest effort to derail a civil lawsuit that was filed against David Miscavige personally, against a number of Scientology organizations, and against Danny Masterson by 4 of Danny Masterson's victims. Danny Masterson is set to go to trial next week for assaulting a number of women, most of whom were Scientologists. Danny Masterson himself is, of course, a Scientologist. The civil case itself does not relate to the exact same subject as the criminal trial. The civil case has to do with the extensive harassment campaign that these women have been subjected to since coming forward in 2016. And that's why Scientology itself and David Miscavige are named in the lawsuits, because Scientology has been involved in harassing the bejesus out of these women. It's really an intimidation campaign to try to get them to back off and not pursue or cooperate in this criminal trial against Danny. Now, the problem in the beginning here was that Scientologists are all made to sign agreements promising to never sue Scientology for any reason, at any time, no matter what. And this is a major hurdle to clear when people who leave Scientology file lawsuits. And up until recently, it's been a damn near impossible hurdle to clear. And when these women first brought the lawsuit, Scientology argued, hey, these guys aren't allowed to sue us. And they convinced the Los Angeles court to rule that, yes, that's true. These women are not allowed to sue for all of this harassment. And the court ruled that they had to throw the case out and go into Scientology internal religious arbitration, which is all just a bunch of bogus BS. It's a kangaroo court situation, and it's not possible to get a fair arbitration in Scientology. So the plaintiffs appealed, and a California appellate court overturned that decision and said, no. These women are suing for things that happened to them after they left Scientology. The agreements that they signed in Scientology no longer apply. And believe it or not, that was the first time a court had made a ruling such as that one. And then the California Supreme Court upheld the appellate court's decision. And so, of course, Scientology appealed this all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. And just yesterday, we found out that the Supreme Court said, no, thank you, we're not taking this up, bye-bye. And David Miscavige and Scientology and Danny Masterson will be forced to answer up to this lawsuit. Here's some of the reporting that was done on this. This is the New York Post. Supreme Court denies Scientology's bid to ban Danny Masterson accusers lawsuit. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday denied the Church of Scientology's bid to prevent that 70s show star Danny Masterson's accusers from suing the religious organization. I'm being careful with my language so that YouTube doesn't suppress this video. Scientology's leaders had sought the court's involvement to help enforce a religious arbitration clause in its member contract that ensures disputes are settled out of the public eye. But as the new term got underway this week, SCOTUS declined to add Scientology's case to the docket. The Supreme Court did not elaborate on its decision to decline the petition, simply noting petition denied on the online record. The David Miscavige-led organization had filed its 144-page petition in July after a California appeals court ruled that a lawsuit brought by Masterson's alleged victims could remain in Los Angeles Superior Court and not have to go through the church-led arbitration. The appeals court ruled the women were not bound by Scientology's arbitration rules because they have a First Amendment right to leave a religious organization, and that the allegations in their suit occurred after they left the church. Masterson is a high-ranking Scientologist, and his accusers are all former members. The women who filed their suit in 2019 have accused the church of stalking and harassing them after they reported their Masterson allegations to cops. The appeals ruling and subsequent Supreme Court refusal to hear the case means the civil case can continue to move forward in the public realm. Separately, Masterson is set to face trial October 11th for multiple assault charges stemming from the allegations that date back nearly 20 years. The 45-year-old actor has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts. So the U.S. Supreme Court denying to take this up, it's a big deal not only because it means that Scientology and Miscavige will have to go into court and deal with these accusations. It's a big deal because it's a massive precedent as far as the enforceability of these contracts that Scientologists signed. Scientology created these contracts just as a ruse to prevent Scientologists from being able to sue, because back in the 80s and early 90s, there was a ton of lawsuits and Scientology was losing them. This is something that Scientologists don't know. I know, like the whole 30 years I spent in Scientology, I was kind of under the impression that Scientology actually never lost a lawsuit. Nothing could be further from the truth. Scientology was losing these lawsuits left, right, and center, and church management, Scientology management, got clever and said, you know, other corporations, they have these internal arbitration agreements and it really prevents their dirty laundry from being dragged into court. Why don't we do the same thing? And this fact really shackles Scientologists and prevents them from getting recourse. It prevents them from using the courts. It prevents them from exercising their constitutional rights to seek justice in the courts. And so this is an important precedent. There was a chance, I know Scientology was certainly counting on the Supreme Court taking this up. There was a particular belief that perhaps the Supreme Court would want to rule on the enforceability of these contracts to protect other religious organizations. And the fact that they didn't take it up, that's why not a good day to be David Miscavige. There is also big breaking news on the Danny Masterson criminal side of this, the criminal trial, but I'm going to discuss that in a separate video. So stay tuned for that one. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right